this computer. Hello, Dream Team. Happy Monday. It is September 12th. I had to look at the computer to even know that. So real quick before we get into our topic of the night, hopefully you've seen there's a post in Dream Team, there's a post in Messenger, and it's in your email. But Lavelle has released a limited edition DFT for the 10-year anniversary, as well as a swanky new looking wrapper for our ooey can. Ooey is ooey. It just looks different on the outside, right? Unless I'm wrong. Okay. But the DFT is actually a different formula and a different size. So it's a mixture of Ultra and Black Label, which literally is my favorite combination to do on my own time. So I'm super excited for this. So, it's limited. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to get it as soon as you can. And I haven't even tried to order yet because I just got all this straightened out. I'm going to say we can't use credits. That would be my guess. But that's okay. It's a limited edition 10-year thing. Oh, look. Okay. So Lindsay's got her she's got her fancy stuff. So Lindsay, did you try the DFT yet? Because I've heard
I have not, because I thought this was like a special thing for us, but in our 200K chat today, people are going insane over it. So she's coming out of the box tomorrow for me.
Okay. Because that's what I was noticing. Like the people who had gotten the special box, they were all raving about this DFT that they've been wearing. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was thinking we were going to have to wait until after the 10-year thing to get our hands on it. So I'm super excited that they're going to let us get it now. So everyone who has tested it says it's incredible. And like I said, it's my favorite combination anyway, all apparently in one DFT. So yeah, Lindsay, you'll have to let us know what you think when you try it. What were you going to say, Sandra?
Will you take a picture of the back of it, the package of the DFT, and send it to us whenever you get a minute? Not right now, but later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's like, yes, but if I don't go get it now, I'm going to forget. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So, sometimes I get tired of hearing myself talk, and lately that's been the case. And so today on my morning walk, when I do my best thinking, I was like, duh, I just had a conversation with Lindsay yesterday about this thing that she tried. And I could tell just from working with her on a day-to-day basis that it made a difference. When we did reconnect, she seemed more focused, more excited. I don't know, all the things. So I was like, duh, I don't need to talk. Lindsay needs to share. And Lindsay, I will also say, without saying names and all the things that we talked about earlier this afternoon, if you want to touch on how burnout is what led you to this point and how other people are experiencing it and how a lot of us feel imposter syndrome and a lot of us don't know that everyone is in the same boat, that we really are all in the same boat, I would love to hear you share that also. So I'm going to be quiet. Take it away.
Well, we'll just lead off with that, guys. It's so easy in this industry, in this life. I swear I have my phone on do not disturb and I just got text messages. Anyways, I truly think that it's human. It's human nature to think that you're okay, to like get your mindset right, and then one thing throw you off. I think it's okay for all of us to be in burnout mode, to just not understand. It's like Courtney said it best, a merry-go-round. And it's like you're hanging on for dear life. But tonight, I'm going to ask you to let go. I'm just going to ask you to let go of the merry-go-round. Wherever, if you have not listened to the podcast, first off, that I posted today, shame on you. And if you're not in tears and you're not on fire after that, then you're probably in the wrong place. But I feel like the six that I'm talking to in this moment all know it. So what happened to me is, a year ago, almost to the date, we were at Tammy's grandma's, and Tammy did her whole retreat over the Circle Maker. And I have literally since then been on a Circle Maker kick. I've yet to read the book, but I read the kitty book. I've done all of the things, and I'm on the 40-day Draw the Circle. And day 27. So I'm going to church on you. I'm not holding back. Because the people that need to see this are going to be who need to see this. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are not Jesus focused, then you need to get with me on a side note and I need to talk to you on a little deeper level, but let's just get started. Day 27 said double circle. So like when I read that, I was like, okay, I know I got to pray harder. No. Are you ready for this? There are times when circling something in prayer isn't enough. We need to double circle it with prayer and fasting. Matthew 17:21 tells us that certain miracles can only happen in response to prayer and fasting. In the same way we open a double combination lock, we need to both pray and fast and unlock the miracle. And the combination of these spiritual disciplines don't just add up, it multiplies their effectiveness. So fasting will take you further into the presence of God than praying, and it will get you there much faster. This day 27, there are two women on here in particular that know it dropped me to my knees, and they were on my heart for whatever reason, because, I still haven't had that conversation with Jesus. I'm still working on that one. But for whatever reason, they were put on my heart, and I stopped, walked outside, and messaged them immediately, bawling. They could go back and read you the message. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm fasting next week, and I need for y'all to do this with me. You don't have to, and I don't want to make you do something you don't want to do, but for whatever reason, I need you to do this with me, and you do what you need to do. Guys, fasting, I've heard my entire life. And I've always put fasting and food together. Let's just be honest, because I love food. That is not what a fast is. I fasted for Jesus in the fact, and this was my very first time, I chose two things that are near and dear to me: social media and TV. So let's just think back. Over the last 8 weeks, 12, 13, however many weeks, Tammy's brought you this beautiful color wheel of trying to figure out your life. I brought you this beautiful timeline of trying to figure out your days and your time and allowing yourself. This is where it was hard for me, because I had been allowing myself time to watch TV and time to be on social media and time to do these things, because I thought, well, if it's in my calendar, it's okay. I can do this. Little did I know that before you know it, you've spent 10 hours in TV in the week. You've spent countless time on social media, but you really haven't done a whole lot. Yeah, I do my daily work, but I was in everybody else's business. And you know what I wasn't doing? I wasn't taking it to the throne. I wasn't taking all of the things and my deals. And I know that this seems way off, but just hear me out. It'll all come in. So I fasted last week for 4 days. I told my husband, no TV. I told myself social media for only 2 hours a day. And I know that you're probably thinking, well, that's a lot. It's really not if you knew what I did prior. So what I did is I broke it up into 20-minute increments, and I was so diligent with my time on social media, because I knew that I could not go a minute more, because that was taking time away from my fast with the Lord. And when you fast, so what happened for me was, when I wanted to go watch TV, I had to stop in my tracks and go pray. When I wanted to jump on social media, because y'all have to remember, I don't go to work. This is my job. So me being on my phone or allowing myself to watch TV. And by the way, the Queen died last week. Y'all, I would have been all over that. That's a big deal to me. I am big into history. So when I had to hear through the grapevine that the Queen had died, I knew that Jesus was like, girl, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Because I had no idea, because I wasn't on social media scrolling. I was getting my work done, and I was getting off, to the point that I told Tammy and Samantha that they're wasting my time. If they want to talk to me, they had to text me, because I was taking all of my time, and it was being added up to my 2 hours, even if it was not Thrive related at all. Anything on social media, I was adding up. Guys, do you realize how much I got done in 2 hours last week? I mean, I brought in 3 new customers. I didn't even told Tammy this. I brought in 3 new customers. I brought in samplers. I was very adamant with my time, more than I've ever been. And I have preached this shit to y'all day in and day out about how to set a timer and to do this. But when I knew that I was doing this as a fast and for Jesus, do y'all know that it changed my total mindset, to the point where I told Lisa and Sandra, and I even told Tammy this last night, I'm sticking to this. I have not watched TV today yet. I have stuck to my timer. I have done all of the things, because I know, and it's not that I'm sitting there fasting and dropping to my knees and reading, but there were 3 things that really spoke out to me. And I want this bonus more than you can imagine. But if I am not Jesus focused, If I'm like Peter, I'm just going to lay this out there. You know, Peter walked on water, right? And Peter was looking at Jesus and he was walking and life was good. And the minute that Peter took his eyes off of Jesus and realized the storm that was around him, what happened? He sunk. Guys, I'm freaking tired of sinking. I am tired of sinking every single time that I get Jesus driven and I get this, something comes in and the devil tries to attack me, and I'm not allowing that to happen anymore. And social media is where it was sucking me in, or just TV time. My husband and I had such a great week last week. We went outside. We did things that we wouldn't normally do because I was literally twiddling my thumbs at some point because I didn't know what else to pray. I was like, Jesus, listen, I've talked to you so much today. I don't even know what to pray about anymore. I mean, I was to that point that I just did not even know. But I will give you the recommendations that I highly, highly recommend. This is a game changer. I'm on day 37. Short and sweet. If you know anything about me, even though my preacher is working on me, short and sweet is what I like. I will give you these tips though. 3 things that I need you to focus on. If reading the Bible is hard for you, listen, we're in Kings at our church right now, and there are names that I don't even know what the hell's going on. I know that they built the temple, and I know it's like really, really pretty, and I know that Solomon did bad, and I'm picking up on the things I need to. Get in the Word. The one thing that my pastor said to me before I even knew I was going to fast at that service, he said, you've got 3 things that you need to do. Get in the Word. I don't care if you don't understand it. I don't care if it's over your head. Every single day, open your Bible and read something. Okay. The second thing, get around other people that are like you, that are spirit filled. Find yourself other godly people in your life, because you get around people that talk smack and you get around people that aren't believers. You get around negative Nellies. What happens? Yeah. Find yourself in that. Same thing. If I find myself like getting down a rabbit hole, if I am mad at somebody or something, instead of just taking it to the throne and saying, Jesus, take the wheel. Like, I'm not happy about this situation, but it's not going to do me any good to go talking about people. And the third thing, oh my goodness. What was the third thing? I'm having a major brain fart. Oh, hello, you want to know why I'm having a brain fart? Because it's hard as hell for me to do. Be still. 90 seconds. We were only challenged to be still for 90 seconds. Do y'all know that this woman cannot shut her brain off for 90 seconds? Like, I've even thought about calling the doctor and asking them to give me something that will shut my brain off for 90 seconds. Because I thought being still meant that, like, hey, Jesus, what you doing? No, I mean, shut up and just shut your mouth. Don't think about nothing. Don't pray about nothing. Don't talk about nothing. Don't think that your dishwasher is full. I'd be damned, y'all, if today, my 90 seconds, my dryer went off during that. And you know what Lindsay was thinking? Oh my God, my shirts are going to wrinkle. I'm still a work in progress. Okay. 90 seconds is what he wanted us to start with. I even have to set my timer. And I'm like, you can do this. Like, I start and I give myself a pep talk. I'm like, just shut your brain off. But I'm going to work there. So draw the circle. Get in it and get on it right now. If you need me to order it for you because you can't right now, let me know. I will get it for you. Everybody knows Tiffany Deeroff. She is a motivator, positive, Jesus-inspired, God-fearing woman. She bought me this book, and it is a game changer. She knew that I was trying. I can't shut my 90 seconds off. She knew that. This is so cool. This book, you're writing letters to Jesus. Like, you're writing physical letters to Jesus. And you know what else you do? You write the letter back as if you were Jesus. It is insane. And it is so cool. And I highly recommend it. You can get it on the Amazon. But it's a week. Each week you do something different. So who is the author? Buddy Westbrook. It's super cool. So I told Tammy that I'm in this one right now, and it is one of those ones that you got to read the paragraphs maybe a couple of times to understand him. But it's so cool because he made me even rethink about the Lord's Prayer. Like, I've been praying that prayer my whole life. I had no idea what half of that stuff meant until Mr. Buddy told me. and told me that we're too busy always praying to God like our things instead of what he wrote, what he wants for us to pray to him every day. So I highly recommend that. But Tammy, to wrap this up in a nutshell, guys, where this comes into our business at is I can find myself stroking out over this promo, over these bonuses, over all of the things in my business, or I can put one foot in front of the other. I can maintain my time and be very diligent with my time and be more in prayer over what it is I need. Tammy had to give me a major self-check last week because I let people get in my head and tell me that I was nobody said I was greedy, but I was feeling that way. I want for you to know that you have to take everything and you need to start praying over it. If fasting is something you're willing to do, Lisa has a great way to fast. Do not think that it is just food, just TV, just social media. I mean, some of the things on that list actually had me giggling because I'm pretty sure there are some that like my husband wish I would fast from. Can you read between the lines? Okay. Yeah. Some of those were on there. I mean, there are some. It's what fasting for you is something that you absolutely love. And if you're without it, it's going to drop you to your knees to have to say, hey, I need help. Like, let's pray about this. So for me in my business, it's changed my mindset to quit worrying about what I cannot control. I cannot control bringing 3 new people in. I cannot control hitting this bonus. I cannot control the other things. But you know what it also stopped me from doing? I only have 2 hours. I'm not stalking people and seeing that other people are what they're posting and how they're posting it. And oh my gosh, my post has to be just like this person's because they're successful in this business, or I need to stream myself this way. Hello, can I get some hands in the air of who's guilty of that? Because it's very easy for us to go and stalk people and say, okay, she's doing this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. Be who you are. And if you only have 2 hours, you ain't got time to be stalking nobody. You got to be working your business and you have to be diligent with your time. And you know what? I didn't worry. Like when we were out this weekend, people were like, did you see this? Did you see that? I'm like, no, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I don't know. I ain't got time for that. But what I do know is I'm excited that this is my last late date. Like it was such a nice change of pace, not to be up in the know and everything, because I wasn't on social media finding it out. So, Tammy, I could talk for days, and I know I'm kind of going in circles. So, reel me back in, sissy.
No, I mean, I would listen to you talk for days about it too, but I just think it's so important because I'm guilty of this also. You know, I work on this. So then you're like, well, I'm working, but are you really? Like you said, are you really? Are you doing research on a post because you're just trying to copy somebody or you're feeling inferior? What we do as promoters a lot is marketing. And so 2 hours a day to come up with a Facebook post to market, that's more than enough time. Where we need to be is in Messenger. We need to be talking to people. And, you know, if you print your Facebook friends list, you don't even have that excuse of, well, I've got to get on Facebook to see who my friends are. Well, print the damn list out and have it. It's just a time sucker. We've talked about this several times. It's a time sucker. It brings that imposter syndrome constantly. But you know, the thing is, and I hope this has come across in all the interviews that we've done with people over the years, that person you follow that you're like, oh my God, they're 200K. Then they get on and they talk and you're like, oh, wow. Like if any of you missed our interview last week with Carrie Webb, the most down to earth, anxiety ridden, constantly comparing herself,
all over the place.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, scatterbrain, the absolute most normal person ever. But if you follow her just on social media, you would have been like, I can never be like Carrie. But you are like Carrie. We're all like Carrie. We were all very much alike in that interview. So yeah, like there's just so much of our job that doesn't have to happen on social media. And I think it becomes such a time suck and such a distraction. And network marketing is that whole sales job with the personal development side. And you're going to get more personal development being on in a book or it maybe, you know, like to me, it's listening to a podcast, but that there comes that discipline where you have to say, okay, help me just push the play button and not scroll after I've done it, that kind of thing. But no, I just appreciate that you tried something new that was hard. Like I think everyone on here acknowledges that was hard to do. I don't remember.
Well, and I'll say this too. On my mowing day, I listened because I had to bell literally because it was that high. I was out there for 3.5 hours and I listened to podcasts, but then that's when I got in my head because felt like I was being greedy and I had to reel it back in and be like, no, this is your purpose. Jesus has given you this purpose to help people and change their lives. Tammy, she put me in check. So if you ever need to get put in check, reach out and say it. Just say, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Like I am praying for this particular thing. Am I being greedy? Because when Tammy texted me back and she was like, no, sister, this is your life. This is your purpose. Like this is what you were built and made to do and change people's lives and help single moms. That's a very huge passion of mine. Then, sometimes you just got to have somebody. So I got wrapped up in the same person listening to it over and over and over again, and it kind of sent me in the wrong direction. So change up what you're doing is, I guess, what I'm trying to say too, is what works for one is not always going to work for another. So I cannot say Mark and me must be best friends. Like I cannot wait to meet him in heaven because I know he's not in heaven yet, but I probably will never meet him. So he'll just be in heaven. But I can't go wrong with anything this man does. And the reason why is he just puts it into perspective. And I'm really liking Buddy too. But if you need a starting point, start here, and I know that this, like I said, was God driven and Jesus driven, but y'all, I'm at that point in my life. I'm 39, fixing to be 40. I have so many things to look forward to. And I can't help but not speak it out loud. I mean, one of the things that I want to know is, not only did I change people's lives with help, but I changed people's lives, being spirit filled and Jesus driven. Who knows? Tammy sent me this a long time ago and she probably doesn't realize it, but she sent me this and this is my screensaver. And this is what it says. Pray so big and so often that when God meets you at heaven's gates, he says with a smile, kid, you kept me busy. So
I do remember that.
And that is legit my screensaver, because if I want to complain about it, if I'm this, if my business isn't going right, if like every day now I start my day with, give me the right words to say so that I can reach the right people today. Like I know I've told y'all to do that, but I wasn't doing that. So I guess the difference today than it's been in a while is I'm putting me first. Well, I'm putting Jesus first, and then I'm taking off of what he's telling me to do. And he's telling me, step back, sister. You've thrown so much at everybody that's not working for you. So I need you to step back, do what you need to do, and walk away from that. It will come and it will work. And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I love that this is a combination of so many things that have happened over such a long time. Like it literally started a year ago in Florida. And then here recently in the last month or so, we've really been hitting hard our schedule and how we use our time. And it's just all kind of melding together. So, and the reason I want to point that out is because some people are going to be listening to this and be like, well, I'm far from it. Well, so were we a year ago. So were we 6 months ago. Heck, so was I probably 1 month ago. But it was it's a process. You've got to figure out where you are. And I will say quickly on your point about the podcast and getting wrapped up, I think you talked about the number 2 thing was to be mindful of who you're spending your time with. So be mindful of what podcasts you are consuming. I have a couple podcasts that I love. They're entertaining, they're very business driven, but they're also selling stuff, throughout. There's lots of commercials that can get kind of distracting. And then there are podcasts where it's just people really sharing their heart. And so I have to pay attention to how I feel before I click play on a podcast. So be aware of where you are mentally, what you're needing in the moment before you start clicking a podcast. And I will say really quickly before we get off here, please go listen to the podcast that Lindsay has assigned this week. Number 1, because I need someone from the team to join me Friday to talk about it. But number 2, I have listened to it 3 times today, and I have unconsciously blocked part of it out. Like she'll start talking about some stuff and I'm like, I don't know, I started loading the dishwasher. You know what I mean? Like it gets uncomfortable. And so you're like, I'm busy. And then it's playing in the background, but I'm like, I'm not listening to that. So then the next time I listen, I was like, oh, I heard that this time. So I'm going to go fold some clothes because the next thing she says, I'm very uncomfortable with. So it's a very challenging podcast in a good way. And don't just think you're going to listen to it once and like get it all. Like I just set the freedom in your schedule this week to listen to it a few times. because there's a lot there to absorb for sure, but it's really, really good. So Lindsay, thank you. I knew you had a really busy day, but like I said, on my walk this morning, I was like, I have to ask Lindsay, and just be glad that I waited, because I was going to text you at 5:15, which would have been 4:15 your time. But I was like, that's no good. So I waited. I was proud of myself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Haley, can I add something?
Yes, please.
The Bible, and I don't know exactly where it is, but it says, seek you first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything's going to fall in after that. So I know that I've been in church all of my life, but we get out of the habit of making him first, so and I just want to share this one little funny thing. The circle necklaces from the retreat last September, and then the Draw the Circle book, and I just finished the Draw the Circle devotional. And to get my 20 minutes in, if I don't get my walk in, we have a circle drive. So I was out there last night at 8:30 doing my circling, getting my 20 minutes in, and I was thinking about the Lord, and I was thinking about the finishing up the fast and the devotional, and I was like, I'm walking in a circle, draw the circle. I mean, it's like, okay, God, I got it. I'm getting the circle thing.
He wasn't even subtle about that one.
Yeah. I was like, as I'm walking in a circle, I'm like, oh my God, here's another circle, So anyway, it's, you guys, if you put him first, he'll make a huge difference. He can do things that we have. He will blow our minds if we will follow him and let him lead and guide us where he wants us to go.
Well, just remember, he's gotten you through everything you've ever been through up to this point that you thought was going to kill you, and you're not dead yet. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And guys, the main thing that just remember is we all have seasons.
Mhm.
And it could be a blessing that Jesus is walking right now. So just remember that, like, it's a season, it's a process, but you can't stop. So go listen to the podcast today. And it takes me back just like to Rachel's last week. Like, you've gotten through some really hard stuff in your life. You just didn't give yourself credit for it. So if you're in a season right now where you just don't feel like your business is flourishing and it's where it needs to be, this too shall pass. This will pass. Just don't stop is the main thing, because you're going to have to start all over again, and that ain't no fun. No. So Tammy, thank you so much for asking me to be on. I'm super excited to see where it goes within our team for sure.
No, thank you. I appreciate it greatly, because I think it's something we all struggle with. And sometimes it's hard to decide how you're going to tackle that problem. And I don't know that most people would have thought to put it in the form of fasting. I think a lot of us would be like, well, I'm only going to be on social media this time to this time and that time to that time, which is really easy to say, but very hard to do, because once you get on, you start scrolling. So I think looking at it in that realm, I don't know, I just think it gives a whole other perspective. And I always love to go to Thrive Church, so I appreciate it greatly. So, all right, I'm going to put the recording up. So if you guys want to listen to this again or share it with your team, because there's a lot of people missing tonight, I would love for people to get to hear what Lindsay had to say. So thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.